Hey, it's UPB from OptionMillionaires.com. I've been talking about Unipixel now, gosh, going on 3 or 4 weeks. Look at the action we saw today. The stock broke over $20. Significant move to the upside. Uh, I actually talked about this stock to the people on my private Twitter feed that you can get at OptionMillionaires.com just before lunch, talking about how the stock could break out heading in to the conference call. And you can see the action we saw. I'll just pull up a daily chart. Look at that move. About lunchtime here is talking about the 1950 calls. The ask was 55 cents. The bid was 45 cents. I actually got some of those at 45 cents. Guess what happened here? They were $1.60. Huge move. And you can go back to last Wednesday. Same kind of thing on my private Twitter feed was talking about it. We had the press release come out. Unipixel, Kodak rebranding the product. And the stock rallied over 20%. Dramatic move. Consolidated. Blasted off again today. And it's really wound up, and I think it's going to blast higher heading into the end of the week. This is a stock that is heavily short. I've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I did a post on it on Friday, talked about how the shorts are going to pay the price, not because ultimately they may be right. Okay, just look at HLF. Look at Bill Ackman tonight. Bill Ackman throwing in the towel, covering 40% of his short position. Bill Ackman might be right down the road, but guess what? Uh, he's wrong now. He's wrong. He's not wrong a little bit. He's wrong to the tune of over 100%. Significant move for HLF. Same thing here with Unipixel. You can, give some credence to the bearish articles, and seemingly everybody's bearish on Unipixel. And to me, that's the same thing we saw when the S&P 500 was down at its lows recently. Bearish sentiment was very, very, very high, and the market twisted around and went the exact opposite direction. Same thing with Unipixel. Everybody thinks this company is set up for failure. A lot of their products have failed in the past, so nobody believes in it. And to me, I say, hey, give them a chance. They're partnered with Kodak. Kodak wants to make a rebound here as well. We have production facilities already built. We had an analyst go out there last month and actually talk positively about it, that everything's on track and ready to go. And then we had the analyst meeting today. CEOs, we're on track. It's going to happen. And once revenues start coming in, this stock is going to blast off. And if you look just from a short-term perspective, the stock's got to break through this level, which it did with a nice wick to the upside. But we break through it, and I think ultimately within the next half a week, week and a half, the stock's going to blast to 22.50, like I've been talking about since it's been really hitting the support line here. And you can see each time it's hit the support line, it's really rocketed higher. Now we're getting farther away. We're going to break through this line: 22.50, 25, 40 by the end of the year, and then next year when revenue starts rolling in, analysts are talking about $3 a share for next year. Do the math. Conservative EPS of a conservative price per earnings ratio of 15 would send the stock to $45. And that is the mean analyst estimate for next year. So you can see where they're coming from. And then from there, the revenue is going to continue to grow as is the earnings per share. The bears will tell you that they're never going to post any kind of revenue. The company is not going to sell anything. But meanwhile, not only do they have production facilities that have been constructed, they're looking to expand. So to me, this is a long-term trade. I like it short-term. I've liked it short-term. Made a lot of money short-term. 400% last week when we rose 20%. Okay, 200% this week. Who knows how much more the following week? Funny, it's stock Seeking Alpha. The article came out last week. The stock dropped here. Do you see this decline? And the article was calling the longs or the investors fools. Okay, we've had that a lot. That's a running theme with UNXL. Guess what? Up 400% last week on my calls, 200% this week on my calls, private Twitter as well. So a lot of people at OptionMillionaires.com, call me a fool tomorrow. Call me a fool next week. I'll be a rich fool. We love it. Keep it going. The bearish articles actually give you a good chance to get in some of the calls and buy the stock on the cheap. So thank you very much. That worked out perfectly for me. I'm waiting for the next article. I'm sure there's wet ink on an article right now as I'm talking. It's 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday morning. So anyway, just it is a great stock, and you can agree with some of the reasoning from the bears, which makes it to me more of a compelling investment for the longs because the bears are just so hung up on the fact that this company's had some products in the past that haven't succeeded. Well, guess what? What happens if this one succeeded? Right now, we're priced for failure. Right? We have an artificial low price because all the shorts have been piling in, taking shares that normally would not be sold in this marketplace. Okay, if there wasn't 54% of the stock borrowed from somebody who didn't want to sell, for instance, if you bought 100,000 shares of UNXL and you didn't want to sell it, guess what happens to those shares? The shorts have taken those shares, borrowed them, and dumped them into the marketplace. Somebody, StockTwit said, "Oh, there's massive distribution on UNXL." Yeah, sure there is, because shares that normally wouldn't be sold have been borrowed and dumped into the marketplace. Well, guess what happens on the flip side of that? The shorts are going to be scrambling for shares when the stock starts to rally. And we saw it today. We saw it last Wednesday. You can see the bid ask kind of widen. You can see the fear and panic. Wasn't looking in the eyes, the short sells, but you could just feel it. And so I think this stock is going to be one to watch going forward. Ultimately, 22.50 within the next week or two, 25, then 40 by the end of the year, and then next year we're talking triple-digit possibilities here. UPBOptionMillionaires.com. Everyone have a great night. See you in the morning. Unipixel. Again, love this stock. Medium, long, and short term. Goodbye.